Now, the high-speed rail link between London and the Channel Tunnel will cost taxpayers £10 billion over the next 60 years because far fewer passengers are using it than originally predicted. MPs on the Public Accounts Committee are warning ministers not to make the same mistake with the planned high-speed link between London and the north of England, which will cost £33 billion. Well, Joe Rukin is a campaign coordinator for Stop HS2. He joins us now from our Birmingham studio. A very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Sophie.
What do you make of what the Public Accounts Committee has found?
Well, it's absolutely wonderful news. When they were interviewing the Department for Transport, Margaret Hodge, the chair, was using words like shocky, potty, biased, bonkers, not good enough to describe the way that they were working on HS2. And today, the report has absolutely backed that up, that they've exaggerated the figures, that they're overestimating yet again, that parts of the modelling system are completely untenable. And the Public Accounts Committee is one of the bodies that is set up to provide independent scrutiny of these plans. And everyone who has provided independent scrutiny has said that that simply isn't case for HS2. The books have been cooked right from the start, and the government really have to listen, because that's what the Public Accounts Committee and the other bodies like the National Audit Office, like the Major Projects Authority, who put HS2 on amber red alert, they exist to provide this independent scrutiny when all that politicians can see are, the three words high-speed rail sound like they must be a good idea, and therefore they're just going full steam ahead with it, not bothered about the financial implications, and it is just plain irresponsible to be pursuing with this project at this time when the country is more or less a bust.
In fairness, what the Public Accounts Committee said was that they were... Apologies, we seem to have lost the line to Cardiff fairly dramatically there. Hopefully we'll re-establish. Well, Joe Rukin is a campaign coordinator for Stop HS2. He joins us, or rejoins us, I should say, from our Birmingham studio. We tried to speak a little earlier. Nice to see you again. You made the point that you were very pleased with the findings of the Public Accounts Committee, but what do you say to the Department of Transport, which says that actually its passenger modelling much improved to when it was used 20 years ago, and that these problems won't happen again? Their forecast modelling has improved, there's better computer modelling, and they've got a better understanding of what drives passengers. Does that give you any confidence?
None whatsoever. Margaret Hodge today said that she was sceptical when that question was put to her. I would say that, quite frankly, that's a downright lie from the Department for Transport, because what you've got to remember is that a month ago we discovered a report through Freedom of Information requests, which was basically looking into the active productive time spent travelling, and it had been suppressed. The Department for Transport had specifically said that they would not incorporate it into the HS2 business case because it would destroy the business case for HS2. Because, as we've said from the start, they according to the Department for Transport, the economic benefits, 88% of the economic benefits come from the cash value of time. They say time is money, they've worked it out, and that is predicated by no one on trains works whatsoever. So if you've ever seen someone on a laptop or just with a pen and a bit of paper on a train, you are wrong. That does not happen as far as the DFT is concerned. That is how the HS2 business case is constructed. Then you have a grossly inflated passenger forecast. It was 267% passenger increase compared to the current West Coast Main Line. That's only 217% increase now. You then multiply all that by the fact that everyone on a train, well, business passengers on a train, are worth £70,000 a year. And of course, finally, to top it off, say if you're up here in Birmingham, the Solihull Stockbroker Belt, and you're currently commuting into the city from Birmingham International, you're probably going to have to get up about 6 in the morning to get to the station, get your connecting tube down in London. If your journey's half an hour less, what are you going to do? Are you still going to get up at 6 in the morning and do some work, or are you going to stay in bed for another half an hour? Of course you're going to stay in bed for another half an hour, but no, the Department for Transport is saying this has a that half an hour in bed for the Solihull Stockbroker Belt, the richest in society are the people who are going to use it. That apparently has an economic benefit for the country.
I'm sure lots of people do lots of different things at 6 o'clock in the morning if they've got an extra half an hour, and there's a lot of sums that you've gone through, but is there not a basic case that if there is an improved service, people are more likely to use it, and so passenger numbers might indeed go up?
Well, that hasn't happened with HS1. And the thing is, with HS1, HS1 was something genuinely new. You know, there wasn't a railway line under the sea before. If you're talking about getting from London to Birmingham or Manchester or Leeds, you've got options there. You've got 2 different railway lines already between London and Birmingham. You've got the M1, you've got the M40. The competition is already there, besides the fact that in 20-odd years' time, are people going to want to travel so much because of the internet, because of video conferencing? You know, I signed the release form for my son to do that. A lot of business people
in the cities that this HS2 will go through are hugely enthusiastic about it and think it's going to be a great thing.
Well, there's obviously places that will receive very, very narrow benefits, but that they are, you know, they're not thinking this through because, again, as Margaret Hodge said this morning, what you will see is you won't see a massive increase in economic activity in Birmingham or Manchester or Leeds. You'll see more economic activity getting sucked down to London. If you want to help the Midlands and the North, the very, very last thing you want to do is make it easier to get to Birmingham. It's basically waving a white flag and saying, we have a service sector economy based on the financial sector, based on the financial services industry, and that's the way it's always going to be. So therefore, we've got to just chuck everything at London, and this is it. It's just about getting more people into London
and out of it, I would imagine. Anyway,
well,
we
just
must
to go
leave it
home
there.
at night.
We must leave it there. Thanks very much indeed, Joe Rukin.
Cheers.